What's the outcome you will take from today's?
Well, we're going to catch up again in just a few weeks' time, and we'll talk about those again. We'll have a think about, and we'll be able to respond. We're going to have a further discussion about those top priority issues, whether it's in aged care, family violence, or supporting the kind of business development that is so important for particularly younger members of the Indian community who want to be as successful as they can be to give back to Victoria. We'll meet again soon and be able to talk about those.
The aged care is a big issue, which we picked up. So, but when we look at the skilled occupations, the personal care workers, they are not in the list of medium or long-term lists. So what do you think the government should be basically focused on this area?
Some lists are prepared by the Victorian government and some are prepared by the Commonwealth government, and obviously migration policy is very much their world up in Canberra. I think what we can do is to continue to better understand the challenge, exactly who needs aged care, where are the gaps at the moment, what can we do quickly, what might take a little bit longer, and we'll be able to respond to that quite soon. I was very encouraged tonight that a lot of people have given a lot of thought to this issue, as I've been doing for a while now, just trying to understand exactly where the pressure points are. And the good thing about it is the community's not asking the government to solve all of these problems. What the community seems to want is a partnership to be able to provide better care, better support, better recognition, and a better place to celebrate the lives of senior citizens of an Indian background and the contribution that they've made.
Where you feel a difficulty is like when we say about the partnership and the problems, where you think is the difficulty is like, the connection is missing, what's really missing?
No, I think that we've had pretty rapid growth. So the Indian contribution is a long one in terms of Victoria. We heard tonight about going right back to the 1850s. Some might even argue earlier than that. So it's not that everyone from the Indian community is newly arrived, but there are many who are. And with any newly arrived community, there can be challenges in terms of settling in, establishing yourself. Then there are other challenges that come just because of the weight of numbers, and the Indian community is one of our biggest communities, one of our fastest growing communities. So making sure that the services and the facilities that the community needs keep pace with the fact that the community is growing so fast, that's always a challenge. The good thing is we're blessed to have so many thoughtful, inspirational leaders, people who are very successful but very community minded, who are generous with their time.
And from the problems we listened today that we here together, if you want to filter them in two categories, the quick ones and the long-term planning, how you would?
Well, there are some things you can do very quickly, and there are other things that take some time. We'll be obviously, just in terms of aged care, we had some suggestions about providing better food, better access to news programming, more culturally appropriate care in existing facilities. That could be done quite quickly. Then there's the notion of building brand new nursing homes that would obviously take a little bit longer. That's just one example. There are lots. The key point is to listen. Wisdom comes from listening, and tonight was a great opportunity for us to listen to the community from many different diverse backgrounds, different ideas, different perspectives. Learning. We'll do some more work. We'll come back together in a couple of weeks, and then hopefully we can have some announcements to make about how we've responded to the important information that we've received. Yes, there was. Well, tonight wasn't a conversation with me in my capacity as the leader of the Labor Party. I'll leave choosing candidates for public office to the Labor Party. Tonight was an opportunity to speak to me as the leader of our government. Obviously, I want a parliament that properly reflects the Victorian public, whether it be the Victorian community in Melbourne, in the regions. We are the multicultural capital of our nation. We have the biggest Indian community anywhere in our nation. I think it's only a matter of time before there are perhaps several faces with an Indian background, people with an Indian background who, as you say, it's always good to see an Indian face. Maybe we will get to that point quite soon.
So at last, what do you expect from Indian community to build better Victoria?
Oh, look, I think that the Indian community has always been about new ideas, hard work, a focus on family, a focus on faith, a focus on giving back, looking after those who are less fortunate, but working really hard to be great citizens and to build those bridges between Victoria, so different communities within Victoria, but also to help us to reach confidently back to India as a massive market with great opportunities for all of us, but also to reach into the rest of our region confidently. That's the contribution that the Indian community has always made. And tonight, if I can finish with this, to have a conversation tonight where it was as much about what the Indian community could do for Victoria as what could the Victorian government do for the Indian community, I think that speaks volumes for just how wonderful our Indian brothers and sisters are.
So just the last one. When we covering the news, in
Yes.
the morning you find a news from a Sydney cabinet minister saying Melbourne is not safe.
Wow.
Here we are.
What would anyone from Sydney know? What would anyone from Sydney know? This is the greatest city on earth. This is a wonderful state where we have not only very well-resourced police, but we have well-resourced hospitals and schools. We've got the biggest infrastructure agenda in road and rail level crossing removals. It's why we're leading the nation. Economic data doesn't lie. We are absolutely out in front. This is where all the momentum is. It's a great place, and I tell you what, it wouldn't be the same. It just wouldn't be the same without the contribution that the Indian community makes every single day. And to think that we have the biggest Indian community in the country makes me very proud. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks very much. I've had an opportunity to listen to leaders from the Indian community tonight, to learn about challenges, learn about opportunities, and to say thank you to the Indian community for the profound contribution that is made every day in business, in arts and sciences, in all forms of professional life, in terms of very generously giving back as well. So no matter the walk of life, no matter the field of endeavour, Indian Victorians are central to all the things that we know and understand and value. And tonight was an opportunity to say thank you, but also an opportunity to listen and to get some really good ideas about how we can better support the Indian community into the future.
Premier, it's always good to know which Indian food you like most. Which is the dish?
You have to be very careful. I like all Indian food. The spicier the better.
Okay. Thank you very much.